Oh man, guys, we have some crazy San Diego Comic-Con news that just dropped via Hasbro's panel not too long ago at the time of this recording. So let's get right down to the nitty-gritty and give you all my thoughts on everything as always, because there's some amazing things to talk about here and there's some absolute dog pile crap things to talk about here. So let's get down to it. So first up here, there's some info that was stated during their panel. I'm going to read through that. So it says here, and by the way, all this was sent to me by Emi on my Discord server, so shout out to you. Thank you for this. It says here, Thundercracker will be the first of the new Seekers. They will all have unique faces. GRIMLOCK is around 15 inches tall. The sword has a metal beam through it like HasLab Prime. He has a wrecking ball, a chain, and his axe. GRIMLOCK is the first of the Dinobots. It's confirmed they will all be Titan, yes. TLK Barricade has all his guns from the film. Amalgamus Prime is said to have multiple alt modes and is very easy to create your own. Brawl is said to work amazingly with Commander Onslaught, and he can't wait to show how it works. The render we see of Onslaught is what they use for his art, and he will have more updates later on. They have the first fan vote in a few years with 2 Decepticons and 2 Autobots. The fans will be voting to decide what the alt modes will be. Wow, that is a lot to unpack. So first up here, I called that the Seekers coming out in 2026 would be new molds in a video like a few days ago, I think. So first up, that's a 1-up for me. I'm patting myself on the back right now, but you know, I'm really excited to see that Starscream and Skywarp and the unique faces that they're all gonna have. Oof, that's gonna be peak. GRIMLOCK, I also called that we would have a Titan class Bayverse figure as the first Titan for Studio Series once we got that first listing. They want to go heavy on Bayverse, especially since Michael Bay is directing the next Transformers movie in the next couple years. So, you know, that it was just a given at this point. TLK Barricade, I'm excited to see all of his accessories and the playability with that. Amalgamus, I did not expect the multiple alt mode thing. He's probably like a freaking quadruple changer, even more similar to RAD 2001, the leader class Megatron, I'd say, so that's crazy. Brawl, I cannot wait to see what extra goodness they put into engineering this guy. Like, I am just so excited. And the fan vote, I'm curious to see what comes of that. I don't know, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now let's actually talk about these figures here. Alphatron, he looks good. Didn't we already see, I think it was a CAD render of him or a prototype of him, but he looks good. Probably won't be getting him, but still a great representation of the character. So 86 Thundercracker here, again, new Seeker mold. I may get this. Like, this is way better than the Earthrise Seeker mold. Like, Hasbro, y'all are doing things right here with this. I'm hyped. Like, this looks super animation accurate. It looks like a mini Masterpiece figure, which is crazy. Next up here, Leader Class TF5 Nemesis Prime. There's some new parts going on here with the figure, so that's nice. And the repaint, I mean, it's cool, but it's not really something I care about that much. Titan Class GRIMLOCK. I am so excited to see the engineering, the articulation of this guy, because this is a Titan class Bayverse figure, guys. I didn't think I would ever be saying this ever as a Hasbro Transformers fan, that we would be getting a Titan class Bayverse figure in a Generations line like Studio Series. It is insane, and I'm all here for it. He looks fan-freaking-tastic. Now for Deluxe 86 WINDCHARGER, he looks cool, you know. I mean, his design from the G1 cartoon was never really my favorite. I do think the alt mode looks superb, but I do prefer his more like IDW designs and more modern redesigns. I don't know, just something about the G1 version always looked kind of weird to me. But this still looks like a pretty solid figure for what they're going for. And then Deluxe TF5 Barricade, he looks good, especially the alt mode. I love that Mustang, it looks so cool. But the robot mode, I don't know if it's the way it's posed here in this CAD render or whatever this is, but it kind of looks like in the proportions and the sculpt, it looks a little like Play School Rescue Bots-esque. I don't know, like, just something about it feels off in terms of the overall look and sculpt. It doesn't feel like Studio Series Bayverse enough to me. I don't know exactly how to put it. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there thinking this, but it just looks off. It still doesn't look like a great representation of his last night design. But either way, the weapons, I think that's going to make for an interesting play factor with the figure. I mean, they only show, I think, like 2 or 3 here in this image, so I don't know if that's all his weapons or not. But, you know, it's still better than that one from 2017. That's an awful figure, so I'll give him that at least. Deluxe Arachnid, I'm pretty sure we saw a gray prototype of this, so nothing too much new, but the colors look pretty good. Dig in how she is. Probably not going to get her, though. Now, for leader class, oh my god, big convoy. Well, I mean, we knew he was coming, but seeing him finally, I gotta say he looks good. You know, you compare it to his design from the original figure, which is still fantastic for today's standards even, and he's borderline masterpiece engineering-wise and scaling-wise too, so that's just a great figure overall still. But you compare it to this, and the proportions and the design of him just feel so dumbed down. And I don't really think this looks like that much of an upgrade compared to the original figure. Like, if you have the original, I really wouldn't bother paying $60-something to get this thing. I mean, it looks decent for people who don't feel like tracking down the original release or the 2019-2020 re-release. But overall, I wouldn't, like, be desperate to get this thing. But, you know, if you want some representation and you don't feel like spending like $90, $100 on that Takara version, then I guess, you know, save the $30-something and get this. But it just doesn't look right to me either. The Razor Claw Tigerhawk repaint, this looks great. Maybe missing some extra color accents from that original, I think that was 2004 release. One of my favorite universe repaints, if you ask me. So I may get this. I don't see any third-party company doing this for a while at least, so this is one that I definitely want to get besides like the Seeker mold or Titan Grimlock and stuff. Like, this came out really sleek. And then we have Amalgamus Prime. I low-key think he should have been a leader class, I'm not gonna lie guys, but this Voyager does look like a really solid release. His design is insane, the alt mode is just as crazy, and I'm here for it. This is the type of creativity and imagination that I live for within the Transformers brand and toy lines. We need to see more of this. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a crazy redesign of like Bumblebee and Optimus like this, if you ask me. But yeah, this looks great. I may just shell out the bread to get this guy. Sure Shot is finally getting a release after being canceled and delayed for well over a year. He was supposed to originally come out in Legacy. This looks pretty solid. You know, it's nothing crazy, but it does look pretty good for what it is. He's got his Target Master, it looks like, so not too bad here, it looks like. And then we have Blastoff here. He looks cool. Probably one of the better deluxes of the waves for early 2026 so far from what we've seen with Wave 1 of Age of the Primes and Studio Series. Like, he looks pretty solid. And then we have Quintus Prime, which low-key looks even better. Like, this looks insane. They're saying he's like some jelly type thing, and he's got, you know, clear plastic legs and tentacles, which I don't know how to feel about that right now. But the effect that I'm seeing in these images do look pretty cool. And then we have Voyager Brawl, which I'm really excited for. Like, Brawl is one of my favorite Decepticons, whether it's G1, Bayverse, IDW, I don't care. He's one of my favorites. And I think they did a really solid job on this. I may get him. And Voyager Wreck-Gar. I'm going to do a separate video on this. This is supposed to be animated universe of all things. I don't see it at all. This is a lazy excuse for an animated Wreck-Gar figure. People saw this coming, like they speculated on this, but I didn't believe it myself. Like, I didn't think Hasbro would be this dumb and lazy to do this and then label it as an animated Wreck-Gar. But I don't want to ramble and rant about this too much in this video. I'm going to do a separate video on this either tomorrow or the day after, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is awful. And the last figure here that I want to talk about, Commander Class Onslaught. We just have a quick little gray CAD render here, and he looks cool. Like, the silhouette of him, the way they have him posed up, it looks really nice. He looks like he has a wrist hinge, which is super rare. Usually it's just a wrist swivel, so that's pretty dope. The articulation and the silhouette of him looks super solid. Oh, wait. Is this the actual figure, or is this like a design for the packaging? The more I look at it, I don't think this is the actual figure, because I highly doubt they're going to give him that good of head articulation and an ab crunch. But I don't know. Overall, still we see the design of what Age of the Prime's Onslaught is more or less going to look like, and he looks pretty cool for what he is. All in all, there is some really insane things here. The new mold for the Seekers, Titan class Grimlock, the Razor Claw repaint is great. Amalgamus and Quintus is dope. Blastoff is cool. I think this was a pretty solid reveal here for Hasbro. Some things I don't think were good. I think the Nemesis Prime, Barricade, and Wreck-Gar are kind of weak sauce, but it's never going to be perfect. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below how do you feel about all these reveals. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.